unmute myself. All right, hello team. So we are going to do a fast CMA. Maria has a listing that we went and looked at today, and the owner obviously wants to know how much. So to run through that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as always. We want to do screen one. Okay, so I have the Flex MLS up. We have an old listing. That's good. It makes it a lot easier. If you didn't have an old listing, you can actually still go in and do pretty much the same process. You just got to manually type in the info and add a cool picture. So we're going to click this button up at the top right. It says CMA. And I'm actually probably going to wait to share this with you guys, even though you won't know it until after Thursday's training, which will be perfect. Actually, we'll go ahead and click select so that's selected. And we'll use selected. So it's going to say, what do we want to do for this time? We won't go over what the differences are, but full CMA. Full CMA for Mr. Is that how you spell it? L-E-E? Mr. Lee. All right, so by me. And go ahead and change it to Matt Strickland of Modern Realty Guam. So that's cool. And it's comparative market analysis, but you can call it whatever you want. All right, so one thing that's awesome, since we're pulling it from an existing listing, we can click this little button that says auto populate fields from existing listing. And it was 19-1954. So it pulls in all the info. You just have to make sure that it's correct because it's not always correct. You know, this is probably from a previous agent. So if something looks funny, we were over there today, and yes, it is in fact 6 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it is over 3,000 square feet. So that looks pretty close to correct. We can also do a new item, and I like to do lot plus or minus square meters, because that's going to be one of your biggest factors. Everything else like flooding zone, you know, most of these probably aren't right because they didn't actually look at the flood zone map. Paved access, yes, it was a paved road. So we're going to go ahead and click next step. And now it's going to ask us for comps. We're going to go ahead and add comparables. There is a new feature that allows the mapping function, but you have to go in and set your stuff. I haven't mine set yet. So it'll give me even like condos and stuff. We don't want that right now. So we're going to do the quick search. If you knew some other comps that you thought off the top of your head would work, that works as well. So we're going to go ahead and find comps. It's going to jump us into another screen. So we're going to set up our search criteria. This is just like a normal quick search because that's all that's available in the MS now. They took the other search away. We're going to go single family homes for sale. And a lot of people get in a bad habit. They use active listings. We don't want to do that. We want to actually use closed listings, and we want to start within 6 months. So today is May 3rd. So we're actually going to change this to 11/3/2020. And if we have to, because Guam's kind of unique in that we don't have that many, we can go back farther. But starting here is exactly what the appraisers are going to do. So living square footage, I like to use like 10 to 15%. So since this is kind of a bigger house, we can start with 10%. I think it said 3132. So I'm going to go over to my handy dandy calculator and type 3132. And let's just keep it easy. Let's start plus or minus 200 square feet and see if we can find something. Of course, my phone is deciding to ding on us. All right, now it's on vibrate. So we'll go 2932 to 3332 and see if that comes up with something. And if it doesn't, then we will expand out. So we're going to say 2932 to 3332. The bedrooms is going to be tricky because there's not a lot of houses that have that many bedrooms. So even though it's functionally not the same, we're going to have to apply this more to a square foot model. So let's even say like 4 to 7, just to give us a little bit of range. Bathrooms is pretty easy to keep common. We'll say, 3 to 4, just since this is a higher, more expensive house. But if this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you should be looking for 3-bedroom, 2 baths. Like that's where you should start. It should be 3 to 3 and 2 to 2. Don't give yourself any leeway on the bedrooms and baths. We want to find exact same first, because that's what the appraiser is going to do. Then if you can't find any, then the square footages and bedrooms and baths, then the first thing I would do is maybe go to a half bath plus or minus, because half bath's easy. I just use a flat rate $10,000 adjustment. But yeah, other than that, I would keep it with this criteria for now, and let's see, what we come up with. Just looking at the map that's already updated, it's not looking like a lot. So it's easy. If there's only a few, to come over here and click list, because it's going to show us the list of properties. And just right off the bat, from a math standpoint, I like these, but let's look. So 21, that's this year, 21, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's good. So 6 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 250,000. That's crazy. That means it's like something like that house must have been way old. Let's see if we can even bring it up and take a look at it. It's like, why did it not work? Let's see if I can get it to go. There we go. All right, yeah, so that's like not even close, right? So looking at it, looks nothing comparable. Like, I don't even know what that is. We're not going to use that one. Down here, the Serena Loop ones, you've probably seen these. Looks like one closed this year, so that's a little better. What's our square feet? So we're looking at lot size, square feet, lot 907. Okay, 3,200 square feet. I like that. And status change date, April 22nd. So this is actually pretty close. We could click through the pictures if we wanted to, and maybe get more of an understanding. 630K in Jonia. Let's see, 929, so it's a standard quarter-acre lot, and looks to appear to be new, which is pretty close to what our property is, 2960. So it's a little bit smaller. Sold on November 24th. So this is right on the edge of our current criteria. Yeah, I like this one so far. 2,960 square foot, 929 lot, and what? 3 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms. So not quite the same. Is that a real picture, or is that like a concept? Okay, that's crazy. So 1,511 square meter lot. So in between a quarter acre and a half acre, 3 bedrooms. Let's see, 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I can't read. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Okay, so that's pretty good. With like other side of the island, so kind of weird. Maybe right now I would say this one, the bottom one. Let's look at this. This is in Tamuning. Total bathrooms 4, total bedrooms 4. So it's a 4-4. So a full bath difference, brand new could be like 25 grand if it's really nice. If it's a big bathroom, we could say 15 to 20. Just kind of depends. Built in 2008, so this one's a little older. 650 square meter lot. But we can go ahead and pull in these bottom 4, and we can always eliminate them later. So we checked our 4 out of the ones that we looked at. If we run this through and it just doesn't seem like it's right, we could always try some different comps. So we're going to click this button up at the top right. It says return listings to CMA. It's going to pull them back in, and that basically gives us our subject property with our 4 extras, right? So there they all are. with their list prices and addresses and everything. So next step, and this is where, you know, the rub kind of happens, because a lot of people don't know how to do this. It's actually pretty simple. You just got to math out your numbers. So if we were looking, let's see, it says what? Click to view more details for this one. So it's going to open up a new thing for us. We can go back to it. We'll go ahead and click this one, and we'll go ahead and click this one. So it opens up our detail page. 815,030, we'll call it 3,300 square feet for easy math. So go back to our calculator, 800, and clear my whole thing, 815,000 divided by 3,300. 246, so $250 per square foot, right? Let's check the next one. Just did that one. 900,000 and 3,300 square, 3,330. So that's gonna be pretty close also. 900,000 divided by 3,330, and we're at 270. And then our last one is 630,000 and 2960. So come back to our calculator, 630,000 and 2960. So 212. So that one's a little lower. You ask why? Like, why is that one lower per square footage? Maybe the location. Not 100% sure where we're at. Let's see, off 17 and 4A. So that's Jonia, Talafofo area. Not in a neighborhood. Maybe that's getting it down a little bit. So I would call that maybe an outlier. So if we say right now what we're seeing on the market, since these are a little bit older, is $250 to $270 per square foot. So for conservative, because we don't want to overpromise, under deliver, right? But we still want to be close. We could say 250, we could say 260. It's really, you know, this is like an educated guess, right? So we figure out the numbers. I think 260 is probably fair, kind of right in the middle. So go back to our CMA. So now we got to make adjustments. And the first one, the easiest one, since we just did it, square footage. So we want to make our adjustments. Oops, should I go back to comps real quick? It pulled in our subject property as a comp. So we want to uncheck that box. Now we're back to our adjustments. All right, so come back to square footage. It shows our subject property 3132 and 3,000 below that. So we said $260 per square foot is what we're going to use for this one. So I'll go ahead, open my calculator on my phone. So there's a difference of 132 square feet. So we're going to add or subtract here. What do you think, Maria? Are we? We're going to add or we're going to subtract? So a lot of people get these backwards, right? So one, we want to make them the same property. So if our property is 132 square feet bigger, we want to bring that other property up to the same size. So in this case, we will what? Okay, let's try that. So 132 times 260 is $34,320. And then we just repeat the process for the other two. 2960, 30, let's see, 3132 minus 2960 is 172 times 260, 44,720. We'll go ahead and repeat the process again. I can just look at that one and do math. So that's 172 times 260, which is coincidentally the same. And then 198 for the bottom one, times 260 minus 51480. Okay. Bedrooms. Bedrooms is kind of weird. What would you think the value of an additional bedroom there being in the same square footage house? So these are all the same, so they'd be the same adjustment. I don't know, maybe nothing. Maybe it just depends on the family. Maybe it's $10,000 a room. It's really the cost of the build out plus the cost of the functionality if there's associated number with that. So let's just say that a 6-bedroom house the same size is worth, it's a guess, right? 20,000. We're gonna play with the numbers and see if it makes sense or if it's just crazy. And then hopefully bathrooms, yeah, they're all the same, except for this bottom one. So this bottom one, we need to adjust down to 3 baths. So how much does it cost to build a full bathroom? Well, standard size, 15,000. If it's an extravagant one, you know, it could say 25. I usually charge around 10,000 for a half bath, just because there's not much difference between a half and a full, you know, other than the bathtub, which is what makes it full. And I don't get too hung up on if it's a 3/4 or a full, i.e. 3/4 being a shower only and a full being a tub as well. So if we said, you know, this is 15,000. So we got style, they're all pretty similar. Year built, they're all within, let's see, 12 years now. So that's pretty good. Ours is clearly the newest one. So there may be actually some more value since, you know, ours is what, 9 years older than one of our other, or 9 years newer than our oldest one. Flood zone can actually have an effect. So if something is in a flood zone, that's flood insurance, that costs money. You can look that up on the Guam RPR and get the flood zone layout, or if you have a past appraisal, or you can go to land management, pull the drawings, and they're actually pretty easy to read. Access, ours is paved. Everything's pretty much paved. We got a combo there. You don't really hit it too much for that. And then the last thing that we really want to kind of look at, it's like a major factor, is our size. So this doesn't have a subject lot size. Do we know it? Can we find it? Put in a little pause while Maria quickly searches. So you can find the lot size from the survey, and we could also contact Security Title, go ahead and pull a PTR for our upcoming listing, and there could be a hyperlinked survey on there as well that could give us that data. 1147. So the data that we're getting is 1147. So this one, that's like a lot, 1147. So where do we get this number from? Same thing as we do. We want to pull some localized past sales for land in the area, but we could also assign a rough number. Right now, 929 lots are going for, depending on where they are, 45 to 60,000. So if you do that same math again, where we just want to figure out the per square meter price, the second one's easy. It's the exact same size, so we don't even have to adjust it. These other two are like really small. 551, that's actually tiny. So we want to scale that down quite a bit. So if we say 55,000, we'll just call it somewhere in the mid to lower end, divided by 929, we get $59 per square meter. Or sorry, to the, if you see the trash bin, to the left of it, there should be a door. 59, okay. So, lost my train of thought. 929 divided by 55. Phone ring messed me up. 55,000 divided by 929. Okay, 59, got it. Okay, so we just want to subtract off just like we did. So 551, and you could even do 550, you can do ratios divided by 929 times 55,000, which is 32. So that's like 12,300. We want to add or subtract? Okay, let's try it. This one is 0. This one we're going to bring down. So 15, 11. I'm just doing this on my calculator. Doesn't require anything fancy. 582 times 59, 34,000. And then 650. So 279 difference. 16,000. 461. Okay, so what's left? City, probably don't make much adjustments. State's the same. We did bedroom, bathrooms, square footage, and year built. Like we could potentially make some adjustments here, but let's see how it comes out right now. And then we adjust it for our lot size. So we're going to go to next step. All right, so it shows everything with our sale prices, our total adjustments, and what does that bottom one say? $11. Did we make a mistake? Just go back real quick. What did I use? 929. No, 929 is okay. I see what you're saying. I got off track. 1147. So we'll redo our land real quick based off 1147 minus 551. It's 596 times 59. So that's actually 35,164. We will make an adjustment here. Seven minus 929 times okay, so 12,062, 15, 11. And the sweet thing about watching this on video is you can just skip past me doing my math. 364 times 59, 21,476. And then last 1147 minus 50 times 59. 323. Okay, now I'm back. All right, so it gives us an adjusted price over here for each one. What it sold, what it listed for, what it sold for, the adjustments we made, and the adjusted price. So we're going to go over to our next step. And this is where it gets interesting because it's telling us the recommended median price is $750,000. What we can do is if this was like crazy, we could go back and say, you know, why is it wrong? Let's relook at our comps. Do we make a math mistake like it pointed out that I did? And is there something functional that we missed? So in this area. And then you can also look at what's on the market for this price right now and see if does that make sense? Because we're kind of in a weird one with it 6.3. I would expect more like a 6.4. So maybe we adjust down a little bit because of that. But the cool thing is when you go over to next step is you can either download this or click view. So we'll go ahead and click view, and this is saving as a draft in your CMAs. So if you messed it up, and because we're modern, I like to go to the, I think it's the tangerine color, and click view. Jump us over to another page, and yeah, tangerine. So see, so this is what it looks like when you're done. So it gives the address prepared for, and we would use this as part of our listing presentation, right? Shows who prepared it, and it says this is not an appraisal. This is basically best guess estimate. So we got our subject property criteria. Obviously, we want to verify that that's all correct before we go over, and we will verify that lot size that we just came up with, just to make sure it looked about right from looking at the property. It does have a pretty big backyard. Distance from subject. So this is actually cool about the distance from subject is it shows the ones that we picked, and based off the map function shows 9 miles, 14 miles, 18 miles. So this one's kind of our like outlier over here. Most of these other two are within 8 to 14 miles. So maybe if we really wanted to get down to the nitty gritty, we take this one off and try it again. But looking at our sold stuff, it's showing our other 3 listings and recommending a price of $753,000. If you come down here, it shows us our adjustments. So if you're showing this to your client and they're asking what is these adjustments and how does it mean, you could break down to them, hey, we base stuff off the past 6 months and not current market value, which is where a lot of people get hung up on. And actually, our special guest on Thursday, it's one of the things that he's going to talk about is prices. Like these listing agents are just throwing numbers out there and stuff's not coming back appraised what they're hoping for because they're not doing this. They're just telling their clients. In fact, we had someone try to get one of our listings recently where we did a CMA, we had the price points, and they came back and just threw a number at the owner that's 50,000 higher. And the owner asked them for their paperwork to back that up. And they didn't have it because it didn't exist, right? So make sure you do this stuff. If anyone asks you how much my house costs, you can say like, hey, this is just a ballpark thing, but I would really like to run some numbers and get back to you, because we don't just give it out. We base it off the math and the science in it, and it's been working for us. We've been nailing our stuff. I just nailed my last appraisal within $100 on 400,000. So telling you, using the active market for the past 6 months, it's what the appraiser is going to do. So this does work. And just to give you a view of the report, here's our detail listing, and it's going to give all the other properties that we just used as well. I did put one of these in the group chat recently, so you've seen it. But yeah, so what I would do now, 753,000, is I would come back over to the MLS. We'll go ahead and just re-log in. Maybe I got kicked out. And say, does this appraisal in a practical sense make sense? So we're gonna do a quick search, get rid of everything, but oops, I'm on the wrong one. Single house for sale, living area square footage. We could say, I don't know, 2,800. And let's do list price. Let's just see what is popping at 700,000. So we have 19 coming back, right? So let's see what that looks like. And so 750, 3,200 square feet and up, 6 bedrooms, 4 bath. Okay, so here's one that is very close to what we're looking at on Macheche. So I look this over here, 20-4438, and say, what's going on with that? Doesn't quite look like ours, does it? So that gives me kind of a warm fuzzy. Barry got a house. These are new builds at 780. So see if we can see anything, and they go up from there. So ours is at the bottom of the price points, and that makes me feel good. Just looking at it. Again, you know, I just did this on the fly. Maria asked me to do it, so I thought I'd record it. So probably go back and do a little bit more research before we throw this at an owner. But right off the bat, everything that we did quickly and the numbers that we came up with, and going back and look at current listings, I kind of like what I see. We can even do again, change our criteria just one more time, and let's look and see. Let's do list price, and let's go down to 650,000. So right now, 34 on the market. So we fall. This is always interesting to me. So like 750 to 650. There's only a few houses, right? So 699, 699, 695, 689, and then we start dropping pretty good. So if our stuff falls in somewhere into here, 112 Ocean View Drive, that's actually my deal. I can tell you at 689, I like this listing better. It's bigger and much newer. So yeah, I think somewhere between low 7s to mid 7s, we're looking pretty good. All right, let me go ahead and unshare, stop the recording, and let me know what you think down in the comments, as always.